All right, so let's talk about a few things I personally think that are good to get if you're going to have the S4. They're not needed, but they're just things that I personally like. And I'm not going to even turn it on for you necessarily to see because it has nothing to do with that. It's just things that you could add, accessories you could add that might enhance your workflow. So this guy is from the company MyVote, and oop, well, that just went pretty quick. Give me 1 second while I grab it right here. And this is a little 12-volt adapter that has USB-C. So this is nice for travel, for your power, because you don't want to have to, personally, I don't want to have to carry the power cable with a brick. The brick's about this big, right? So you don't want to have to carry that around. If you're just going somewhere for a short time, you want to record somewhere out, something like that with a battery pack. You can put a little USB cable there or whatever you need, and now you have easy access to record. It comes with this little case, only about 20 bucks for that. So that's one item I think personally is a must-have. Now, it only comes in this pink, so if you don't like this pink, well, I don't know what to tell you because that's what it comes in. The other thing I talked about in a previous video, the Witty Jack, the CME Witty Jack, particularly the one that has the has this cable here, right, where you plug them in, because this is the 3.5 USB TRS MIDI. So this right here gives you Bluetooth MIDI. And what's cool about that is you can use now a controller on your phone or on your iPad to play in certain sounds. So if you want to have like a keyboard, you can use that. And that's a great access for that. And also in here, there is a thing called Poly. Poly is basically like, I think it's 30 seconds or less. And it's a single like one shot type thing, but you can use it to play an instrument. So in my opinion, having something like this, though it's not necessary, you could just use a Witty, let me see if you can see this. You can get something like this, and it comes with the adapter. You could just use that if you wanted to, and just set it on the out, and then you'd be fine. But this little guy here is a lot smaller. And on the back here, though you can't really see it as well, there is a magnet that comes with it. And it allows you to stick it somewhere. So you stick it somewhere. That sounds funny. But anyway, you could, in theory, just stick it to the back of the device if you wanted to. Or not. Either way. Some people don't want to put that on their device. But the option is there. Next thing I would say is, I talked about in a previous video, is grabbing a USB-C that you can hold your samples on, so that you have something, because you only have 4 gigs in here. And I personally don't think I want to fill this thing up with sounds. If you needed to, sure. But if you fill it up with too many sounds, then when you get out and about, you're going to see that you have no room. So wherever you save the sounds or pull the sound from is where this device will pull the sound. Does that make sense? So if it's saved to here, every time you open that project, it's pulling the sound from this SD card. Or this, in not this case, it's not an SD card. This is a thumb drive, a little flash drive. So you have to remember that if you want to pull back open your projects that you were working on. So just something to think about. If you're going to do some performance, I would probably say at that point, maybe put the samples on the actual device, perhaps, because at that point, you don't want to have to deal with if this thing malfunctions. So if it's at least in the system, then you'll be good. All right. The other thing is right here, is taking up the whole space, but it's the deck saver. So they sell a deck saver. I bought mine used for a little bit cheaper than the normal. Of course, I bought my device used too. So I mean, there's not a lot of used ones, but this person was selling it used, so why not? You don't have to get the deck saver. There's also those little, Etsy sells those little ones that go over the top. They make a box cover one, and then those little felt looking things that you can sit over the top. If you prefer that, you can go that route. If you don't even want to go that, those are cheap too. They're like 20 bucks or less. And then there's also on Amazon, you can get a screen protector. If you just want to put a screen protector over that and you feel the rest is fine, you could go that route. So little things like that. I chose this one just because the deck saver is nice. I think if I put it on there, I can walk around with this comfortably and I don't feel like I need to have a case. But you also can get a bag if you wanted to. All right, and then the last one is this right here. Now, what is this? This is interestingly, a switch on and off cable, but it's a connector. So here, I'll show you. So the power brick comes this way and you can plug it in. Now, if you never bought this or use this machine, it runs on a Raspberry Pi 4 compute module. That's like a little board, right? That it functions on. And when you have this plugged in, even though you can power down, it's technically not turning it completely off. The power is still running. And I showed this I think I showed this in a video where you'll see it, like the video still show it having power, even though you power down, because it's really just doing like a little screen. It's almost like a screen saver thing where it just kind of turns it off, but it's still running, right? So to completely power it off, you need a switch. And they didn't put a switch in there. You have to buy this separate. So this is only like $7. Actually, you get 2 of them for $7. So, and what I like about this is I can leave it powered on, or leave it plugged in, I should say. See, once you plug it in, you'll see the light will come on when the switch is on. I have it off right now, but when it's on, this automatically will come on, right? So now I can turn it on when I want, and I can turn it off when I want. And it's so much easier than unplugging, because you wear out the little mechanism that goes in there that, you know, keeps it there, all that pulling in and out. You can strip it. So this right here will save that from happening, and you can just turn it off. There's times where, like, if you're trying to load and send your stuff to like the iPad or something you want to use sounds over here, you will need to have sometimes turn it off and then turn it back on for it to recognize it. Now on desktop, I haven't had any issues with it working on Mac, and I've heard people had no issues on PC. Sometimes on iOS though, for some reason, it doesn't recognize it right away. So you have to either restart an app or you have to restart the device itself. And that's where something like this comes in handy. So it's easy just to turn it on and off, right? Make it work. So this is travel. Obviously, this is to protect it and travel. This is more for at your house. I don't think you want to take something like this out and about with a big old power cable. If you do, then kudos to you. And then again, having this little guy here is just so you can have your samples and get samples from wherever. You could just sample from your phone into the inputs. My thing is I prefer just to load a sample in. I find it much easier than trying to record in a sample. But if you want to do that, depending on where you are and what you want to do, you're welcome to it. I'm just telling you my suggestions, what I like to do. So, yeah, I want to say that's it. So accessories, definitely you want to have some batteries if you're going to go portable, something like this, or a little bit bigger if you want. And then with your cables, things of that nature you probably will need. And at home, not a big deal. Use the power brick and a switch and you should be good. All right, I think I've given you all that I know about it. And if you have one in the comments and you comment on it, please tell me what you use. If there's some specialty thing that you prefer or like, I'd love to hear it, because that's how we learn from each other. All right, I'll see you on the next video. I'm out.